Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. So this is going to be another decluttering video, and I'm going to be decluttering my eyeshadows. So right now I have all my palettes. Well, hold on. Alright, so now I have all my eyeshadow palettes piled up here, and we're going to go through them and see which ones I'm going to keep and which ones I'm going to declutter. So I'll start with two easy answers. This is my Lorac Pro, my Pulp Fiction. I've been trying to pan both these this year, so I'm definitely keeping them. This is my backup of the Urban Decay Pulp Fiction palette, and I am going to pass this on. Alright, so this is fairly new to my collection. I got this in Europe. It's from Makeup Revolution. It's the Ultimate Color Chaos palette, and I got this just because there have been times where I was tempted to buy the electric palette, which is just insane because I never reach for colors like this, but I thought it'd be fun to have and fun to play with, just a good thing to have access to. So this was obviously much cheaper than the electric palette, so I'm definitely going to keep this. It's very unique to my collection, and even though it's not something I'll reach for a lot, I think it's a good item to have, you know, if I ever want to do like a Halloween thing or, you know, any kind of crazy makeup. I think it'll be fun to have this. And then there are some tutorials I've seen with shades from the electric palette that are much more wearable that I might like to try as well, so I think this is a fun thing to have in your collection. And so this is Paula's Choice, the Nude Mattes. I got this for free. So, I mean, part of me doesn't feel bad keeping it since I didn't pay for it. But part of me, maybe I'll declutter it though, because I don't reach for it a lot, and I do have actually a lot of matte palettes, so I think I will pass this on. It's really great though, the quality is really great, so there's nothing wrong with it. I just have too many nude matte shadows. This is my Urban Decay palette that I made, so I'm definitely going to keep this. These are all fairly new to me. So yeah, that's going in the keep pile. And then also in the keep pile will be my other Makeup Revolution palette. This is the What You Waiting For palette, and a lot of the shades are named after Gwen Stefani's, or they're all named after lyrics from Gwen Stefani's song. And it's kind of, it reminds me of the Naked 3, because there's a lot of like pinky neutral shades in here. I've been using them a lot. You can kind of see the indents. Since I have used up some of the lighter shades in my Lorac Pro, I've been reaching for this a ton, so I will keep this. Right, this is the Marc Jacobs Siren palette. It is gorgeous, and these are also really bright, kind of more unique shades to my collection, but it's also something I don't reach for a lot. And at the time when I bought this, I was kind of thinking if I'm going to spend a lot of money, I should get something really unique. But now I kind of think if I'm going to spend a lot of money on something, I should get something that I would wear every day. So I'm actually going to try and sell this. If no one wants to buy it, I'm not going to throw it away, so I will keep it. But that's what I'm going to do with this, because it's just not worth having sitting around getting dust if there's someone else that might enjoy it more. So this is the Wet n Wild Comfort Zone palette. I really love this palette. I really love this definer shade down here, but all of the rest of them are really, really nice as well. So I'm definitely keeping this. Right, this is from Too Faced. It's the A La Mode Eyes palette, and it's just not something I reach for a ton. I like a lot of the shades. They're nice, but like this pink I never reach for. I don't like pinks on me. This is a navy. I have other navies. You know, I have kind of dupes for all these other ones, so I am going to pass this one on. So this is my Urban Decay Naked palette. It's the first high-end makeup item I ever purchased. Well, that's not true. See, I always say that because I always forget about this palette, which we'll talk about in a minute. But this is the Naked palette. I wore it all the time when I first got it, and then I ended up buying a ton more makeup and, you know, kind of forgot about it. But I do really like this. These are all great shades. I've been really into Urban Decay eyeshadows lately, and so I'm gonna keep this partly out of nostalgia, but partly because I do think I really like a lot of these shades. I haven't used it though in over 6 months because I haven't been home, so that I can't really use that as a gauge for a lot of these items. This is the Lorac Pro 2. I really love the Lorac formula. I really like these shades. I mean, the navy I don't really like. It's kind of patchy. The plum I haven't reached for too much, but I mean, everything else is pretty up my alley, so I'm definitely keeping this. Alright, so this is an Inglot palette I picked up about a year ago. This will actually be in my next rehaul video. And I heard so many great things about these eyeshadows, but I don't think they're really anything special. They're not bad, but they're not like amazing or life-changing or anything. I mean, not that any makeup is really life-changing, but I'm gonna keep this just because, you know, I can always buy different colors in here, and I just really like this little packaging. It makes me happy. And this is good for traveling. Like I have, this is a highlight, I have the crease kind of shade. It's a little dark, but I can make it work. And then some nice lid shades, and then this kind of cool purpley shade down here. Right, this is another palette from Lorac, and it is the Stay Cool palette. And a lot of their kind of limited edition seasonal palettes don't really have the same quality as the Lorac Pro shadows, but I think this one does. And I really like this green. Is really kind of a fun pop. I really like this shade right here. I don't even really know how to describe it. It's kind of a warm taupey color. It's probably pretty similar to Mushroom or something, though. Let me see. It's actually a little bit warmer than Mushroom from Urban Decay. I think this is fun. It was relatively cheap. I got it at Nordstrom Rack, and I do like this green shade a lot. It's a fun thing to have, so I am going to hold on to this little one. Alright, so the rest of the ones I have left are going to be kind of hard to decide on. So this is the Laura Mercier Eye Artist palette. I bought this kind of on a whim after I dropped my husband off at the airport to go to Scotland. It is beautiful though, like super beautiful, and I just haven't reached for a lot. But also, let's remember that I haven't reached for anything a lot because I've only been reaching for the Lorac Pro. So I think I am going to keep this and give it some more time. Because I think the shades are really lovely and the quality is really lovely as well. So I need to get some more time to get acquainted with this palette. Okay, this is the Smashbox Blue Eyes palette. I've tried to sell this a few times. This is the first high-end makeup item I've ever owned. I didn't really know much about makeup. There's nothing wrong with it. The quality's good. It's just not something I reach for ever now that I have so many other eyeshadows that I just prefer. So there's a smoky trio and a soft trio. These ones are a little more matte, but there's a little bit of satinness to them, and then these are a little bit more shimmery. So I haven't been successful in decluttering this really. I don't know anyone that wants it. If you want it, let me know. But I think I'm going to put this back into the declutter box and do my best. So this is the Narcissus palette. We all remember that one of the first things I broke my no buy for, even though I used a gift card, was this. And this I do really like. It's pretty unique, I think, to my collection. I love this blue. I'm wearing that today actually as a liner. This purple is really pretty. This is a really nice shade, and you know, I do prefer matte shades, but I think this is a nice complement to a lot of the matte palettes that I have. So I'm gonna hold on to this for longer. But to my former self, I definitely could have lived without it, despite what I thought. Okay, next up I have 3 matte palettes. So this one I just got. My friend Nikki here on YouTube was decluttering herself, and she wasn't reaching for this, so she passed it on to me, which was so nice of her. I'm so thankful because I really wanted this, and she remembered that I had been talking about it, and I hadn't even talked about it in a while, but I've still, you know, every time I go to the store I do swatch it and kind of look at it. So I really think this is like the perfect little matte palette. The top row is pretty cool. I wore that yesterday. I really like that. This one's a little bit more mauvey. I don't know if I'll get much use out of Lace Teddy, but I do like these two. And then I really like this warm. These two were two that really drew me to this palette. So I just got this. I'm definitely going to keep it. But then I have 2 more matte palettes. And so I guess I might as well talk about this now. My plan for 2016, my plan for 2016 is to work on a matte palette all year and then bring in other palettes to use with it each month. So I have been going back and forth between these 2 palettes. So this one is the Stila in the No palette. I don't think I've ever really used it. I've maybe used it like once. I've probably swatched it all though, so you know, this is pretty neutral. I mean, they're both neutral and matte. So this one has 10 shades. So I'm going to pan one of these. I'm leaning towards this one right now. So whichever one I end up deciding to not pan, I'm going to try to declutter. So I'm leaning towards this one because this one, I really like that it has this transforming ombre radiance ribbon is what it's called, but it's just kind of a shimmer that you can put on top of any of the other ones, and it kind of turn them into a shimmery shade. So I think that's kind of nice and versatile. And I feel like there's a lot of lighter shades that I could use up. I mean, there's these darker ones I probably wouldn't use up. It's like the purple, Starry Night Cool, Hot Spice, maybe even, or Hot Cocoa, and maybe even Spice. But I would definitely be able to use up like all of these ones. I mean, I don't know if I could use them all up in 1 year, but I would use those shades. This one, let's see. I mean, these are all, the bottom row is kind of dark. This one's really bright. So I feel like maybe I will declutter this one and then try to pan this one. But I'm kind of on the edge. So yeah, I think, you know, I'm getting the Gwen Stefani palette. It's on its way. I feel like there's a lot of lighter shades kind of like this, even though they're not all matte. There's a gray. Do I have a gray? I must have gray. I must have gray somewhere, but this is gray. That's kind of unique though. I don't know, maybe I'll keep both of them for now. I'm really on the fence though, so let's see. I think just since I've been painting the Lorac Pro for a whole year and I've been away, it's gonna be a little hard for some items that, because I don't really want to say like, oh, I haven't touched this for a year, because that doesn't really mean much based on the context. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Right, so I still have 15 palettes, which is more than I want to have, but I do genuinely like them, and I will hopefully have one less soon, and then, you know, I don't know, I just really love eyeshadow, so I am proud of myself for getting rid of the 5 that I did, but it's just really hard to decide. So maybe I should get rid of the steel one. I don't know, guys, but yeah, so we'll see what I decide in the next few weeks, but this is what I feel comfortable with decluttering right now, as someone who has been away from most of these palettes for 6 months.